Hi everybody, this is Arlene, and I'm going to bring you today this beautiful giant size, I want to say granny square, but it's not a square. It's a diamond granny, and it has clusters. We're going to learn how to do these clusters, and if you're going to make a granny blanket, this is a beautiful gift. This makes such a beautiful blanket. I made the blanket, but I don't have it anymore. I made it a long time ago, and I wish I could show it to you. I used the cream colors for my blanket, and I used burgundy, and it came out lovely. I even put tassels on the corners of the blanket, and I also made one with this color, baby blue, and yellow, and it was just remarkable. The recipient was ecstatically happy. And I want to give you some measurements. It's quite large, so you make a few of these opposed to a regular granny square, and you're going to finish this blanket in no time. I'll give you the measurements. That's about 11 inches the long way. Now across it's about 8 inches. So what I'm doing with this, I'm making this with Karen 1 pound. This would be, you get 2 bowls of this, you should have enough to make a nice blanket. And I'm using, that was the cream color I just showed you. Let me show you the name, the color label. That's cream. This cream looks almost like a very light yellow. And this one is the blue, sky blue. There, sky blue. And we're going to start with the sky blue. You're also going to need a scissor to cut, and you're going to need a blunt needle to sew in the ends. You're going to have a few ends to sew in. And I'm going to do this granny square with an eye hook. There, 5.5 millimeter hook. And we're going to start with the blue, just like you've seen in the square. And I'm sure you saw earlier in the video, before the instructions started, that there's a picture posted of the square. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a ring. We're going to make a ring with 5 chains. That's 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to close it up. I'm going to wrap my tail around the ring so that I won't have to sew it in later. And we're going to chain. We're going to chain 3. And we're going to do 2 double crochets. This chain 3 counts as a double crochet throughout the whole pattern. And so we're going to do this chain 3, 2 double crochets. We're going to do 2 trebles. For the 2 trebles, you have to yarn over twice. Release 2, release 2, and release 2. Yarn over twice, pull up a loop, yarn over, release 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, release 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, release the last 2 loops on the hook. It's one of the tallest stitches. Okay, so now we have what's counting as a double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. So that's 3 double crochets and 2 triple crochets. So now we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to do 2 trebles. We're going to do the same thing we did here, we're just going to do it backwards. That's 2 trebles. And 3 double crochets. And that's one of the corners that we have done already. This is going to be the top corner. So yeah, so now we're going to chain 2. Now we're going to start working on the side peak right here. This right here, that's where this side right here, and this round gets 2 chains, and this one on the long ends right here gets 3 chains. So that's 2 chains, and now we're going to do 3 double crochets. And we're going to do 2 trebles. And we need 1 more treble. And we're going to chain 3. And we're going to do the same thing backwards. So we're going to do 2 trebles. And then we're going to do 3 double crochets. It gets a little tight. You have to slide it over, make some room. I'm going to make this over because it looks too loose. So that's 1, 2, 3 double crochets, and now we have to do a chain 2, and we're going to slip stitch it right in here at the top of the chain 3 space, and there we have our small diamond. So for round 2, we're going to chain 3, and we're going to double crochet in the next 4 stitches, which is these right here. We're going to do a double crochet in this same stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And here in the space, we're going to do a number of stitches. We're going to do a double crochet, 2 trebles. We call them trebles or triple crochets, either way. We're going to chain 2. In this round, we're going to chain 2. We're at the top of the corner, but the pattern calls for 2, so we're going to chain 2. And we're going to do this backwards again. We're going to do 2 trebles. And we're going to do a double crochet. So we're going to repeat this again. We're going to crochet in the stitches over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. Now when we started over here, we only crocheted 4 stitches because remember, the chain counts as a double crochet. So your next set of stitches is going to have, you're going to have to crochet all of the double crochets. And over here in this space, we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're gonna, actually no, we're gonna double crochet, we're gonna chain 2, and we're gonna double crochet in the same space, like that. You have 2 double crochets with a chain 2 in the middle. Then we're gonna crochet our stitches, our double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here in the space, we're going to repeat what we did up here. I'm going to double crochet, 2 trebles, we're going to chain 2, 2 trebles, and double crochet. Your work should look sort of like this. Okay, so we're going to continue crocheting our stitches in here. And we're going to continue putting our stitches on this side. We're going to put double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in this space right here. Double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And we're going to slip stitch at the top of the chain 3. And that was just 2 rounds. That's just 2 rounds. And on the 3rd round, we're going to join our color. So we're going to cut this here. You may as well go ahead and work on some of our ends. That was already sewn in, so I could just pull it so I can close my little hole, and I can cut this tail off. And we're going to take our needle and hide this little guy here. You're going to do a nice neat finishing here. I'm going to put my needle behind the stitch, and I'm just going to keep doing that like 3 or 4 times. This is just another neat way to hide your ends. I'm just going to take it with all those strings that I wrapped around it. I'm just going to slide the needle right down in there like this, and I'm going to pull my needle out of it. Not going to pull it too hard. And I'm just going to twist my stitch a little bit. And sort of looks like the double crochet. So now we're going to add our next color, our cream color, and we're going to learn how to make clusters with the cream color. We're going to go to one of the ends over here, and we're going to insert our hook. We're going to take our working thread, which is the thread coming from the ball, and this is our tail. We'll just keep that out the way, and we're going to make a slip stitch like this, and then we're going to make our chain 3. And for the beginning first cluster, you're going to yarn over like you see me doing here. You're going to insert your hook and pull up a loop. You're going to yarn over, pull out 2 loops, yarn over, pull out 2 loops, yarn over, and you're going to pull through all 3 loops, and there's your cluster. And then we're going to chain 2. Now our second cluster is just going to be a teeny bit different. You're going to insert your hook after yarning over, just like this. You're going to pull out 2, yarn over, pull out 2, yarn over, and pull out 2. You're going to repeat that 3 times, and you should have 4 loops on the hook. When you yarn over again, there should be 4 on the hook, and you're going to take all of them out, and then you're going to chain 1. So your clusters are going to be made in every other stitch. So this is a stitch right here, which is right here, but we're going to skip that one because we have 2 clusters in each space. That's what you're going to have. I'll show you what the sample looks like. This here, like this. Each chain space in the corners have 2 clusters. They have a space separating them. But you see inside here, this is separating the clusters, but this is in the chain space. You only see 2 in the corners. So that's what we're going to do. And before we get to the corners, we're going to make a cluster in every other one of these stitches here. So my next stitch is going to be right here, my next cluster. That's 1, yarn over, pull up a loop. That's 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, and that's 3. See how I have 4 loops on the hook? Yarn over once more and pull them all out, and there's your cluster. Then you're going to follow that with a chain 1 for each cluster. Now we're going to skip this stitch right here, that stitch, and we're going to crochet in this one right here. 1, 2, 3. That's your cluster right there, and a chain 1. So we're going to skip the next stitch, and we're going to crochet inside the following stitch. Two, 2, 2. So we're going to skip this stitch now, the one that's next to the space right here, and we're going to go right into the corner. We're going to make our clusters in the corner. And that's one cluster. So we're going to chain 1, 2, and then we're going to make another cluster in the same space. There you go. Chain 1, skip that one. We're going to do it in the next one. Chain 1. Chain 1. So let's review what we've done. This is our work right here. This is our space right here where we started. This is considered the cluster for this side where we're going to work later on after we get around to this side. We're going to work over here. This cluster belongs to the work that we're going to do over here. From here across here, you should have a certain number of stitches, of clusters from here to here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. That should be 6. So on each side, right here, each side, you should have 6 clusters inside of these spaces right here. So that's a good way for you to check and make sure that you're not missing any clusters. You don't want your diamond to look crooked. So now on this side right here, we already made 3. We need to make 3 more over here and work in these stitches right here. And 2. And skip that one and work in this one. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to make 1 more, the one that goes inside this space right here. We're going to skip that one and we're going to work one inside the chain 2 space. And we have our 6 clusters for this side here. And now we're going to work on the clusters for this one. We're going to chain 2. And we're going to work 1 more cluster in this space. And we're going to skip this stitch and we're going to work in the right in here where we sewed our end. That's where we ended the last row we worked on. So we're going to make our cluster in there because we're skipping this stitch in here. So you can try your best to get your needle in there. It's gonna be, it's always kind of hard to get your stitch, get work done on your stitch when you when you're closing. Okay, there it is. I got it. Okay. 2 and 3. So we're skipping this and we're going to work here. So now we have 1, 2, 3 for this side of the diamond. And we have 3 more to go. We're going to skip that one and we're going to work in this one. That's 2. And the one here is 3. and one more inside the chain 2 space, and that side is done. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this space right here gets another chain, 2 chains, and another cluster. I'm going to work in here, skip 1. Work in here. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm straying from the camera. Getting lost in my work. Okay, so one more and we're done. And now we're going to slip stitch at the top of the first cluster that we made. And there you go, we're done. So we're going to fasten off from here. And we can sew in our end, get it over with. We have another end there. We can work our way to the bottom here. And since we have all of these stitches down here at the bottom, we can hide our tail right inside there like this, making sure that your needle is not showing on the back side. That means it's inside the stitches. Now, see where that stitch is? We're going to put our needle right here and anchor it so that it'll never unravel. And cut that. And we're going to do one of those things here, like this. And we have our diamond needs 2 more rounds and it'll be finished. So we're going to go switch back to the blue. Do our loop. We'll switch back to the blue. And we're going to go into one of the corners here. We're going to do our 3 double crochets and 2 trebles right here. That's our next round. So on our first stitch, we're going to slip stitch and then chain 3. And we're going to do 2 double crochets. We're going to chain 3. and then we're going to do, nope, sorry, wrong. We have to put our trebles in there. So sorry. We're going to do our trebles, 2 trebles, and now we're going to chain 3, and now we're going to repeat the same thing. We're going to do 2 trebles, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. Okay, so now inside these chain 1 spaces that we made on our clusters, we're going to put 2 double crochets in each one. Now here in the corner, we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets in the same chain space, like this. We're going to commence to 2 double crochets in each cluster on this side. And right here in the corner, we're going to do the same thing we did down here. 3 double crochets, 2 trebles on one side, and we're going to switch it when we finish that after we make our chain 3 space. So that's 3 double crochets and 2 trebles. We're going to do a chain 3, and we're going to do 2 trebles, three double crochets, and we have our other end finish here. It's going to start getting quite big. I'm not going to be able to fit the whole square, the whole diamond into the camera. So I'll be showing you piece by piece. So we have one more side to do. And then we can do the final row. And right here in the corner, we're going to do our 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. And continue doing 2 in between each cluster. Oops, I skipped one here. Gotta go back. Make sure I didn't do that in any of my other ones. Okay, it was just that one. Okay, so we're done with our round, and we're going to slip stitch at the top of the chain. Now we're going to, what are we going to do now? In this round here, we did double crochet, space, double crochet at the top, and on the side we repeated the same thing. Okay, fairly easy round. So we're going to put a double crochet in the same stitch right here that we just made our chain 3, and we're going to double crochet in each double crochet till we get to the corner, and in the corner here we're going to do double crochet, chain 2, or is it 3? Chain 2, double crochet. In our stitch here we're going to double crochet, and we're going to keep going around and double crocheting in each one. So when you get to the corner, the side corner, not the top corner, the side corner, you're going to repeat the same thing you did in this corner, which is 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. And here we are at the corner, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and commence doing our stitches in each one. And one more. Okay, so we're going to slip stitch at the top of our chain. We're going to slip stitch one more time just to seal the deal. And there, we are finished. Now, if I remember correctly, when I made my blanket, I might have made maybe 34 or 36 of these diamonds, and I made a nice afghan for my living room chair, but I ended up giving it away as a gift. I don't have the blanket anymore. Anyway, this makes a great baby blanket. You might need maybe a few less squares for a baby blanket, but this is an absolute gorgeous granny right here. And I hope that this video demonstration was very helpful in getting you to accomplish this task right here, because I have fun. I have fun doing this. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more tutorials.